We are live. Hello, everyone. This is Ninja GC joining again for another podcast. This time for, I don't know why I said this time. I'm doing unfortunately, there's still a hell of a boss thing.
We're only 20 days
week.
away.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh.
But yeah, joining me again is, first up, I guess, random Skype order, Jen.
I may be first. I may be last. I may be just coming back from boiling to death in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But I am first and always a melted pot of friendship. No, but never mind. I'm Jen. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
These are the jokes here, folks.
So there was that.
All right.
Yes.
And then next up, second in day.
Hi, we are the second day.
Hello,
Hi. Coming to you from the one and only Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, from a critic first and a critic second. Oh no, I guess I am a fan second.
Yay!
See, that catchphrase is rusty. From a critic first and a fan second, I am the second opinion.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Daylover.
So she is. And I love her.
Aw, love you too. No, Jen with the get a room, you kiss.
Whoops, hold on. Get a room, you. That doesn't help.
Oh, these catchphrases are all going rusty. We need reaction things again.
So,
You don't do kids. No, I don't.
it almost makes it funnier. It's like the goggling noise, really like.
I had to warm up a little bit first.
That's funny.
But I was with my family. Like, my mother actually told my aunt, she's like, Jen, do your Granny Smith voice. And I was like,
Oh no.
no. And I was like, no, I'm not a kid. And, and it said, you mean like this?
Yeah.
Hey, it got a laugh, so it's all good.
Here.
Next.
And then next up, Carlos.
I'm here. My name is Gum Gator, and I'm here to just say I'll leave you and have a wonderful day. Boom, baby.
Ba-bum-bum.
Yay!
Yay!
Random introduction succeeded, and now then, let's discuss.
Yeah, who wants to go first with what you've been up to?
Let us converse.
So, for me, I would like to start first, if no one has any objections.
No.
Okay.
So, we shall begin with my delving deep into the Netflix bin and watching the series front to back in less than a week. And it is a crime serial involving with supernatural elements. Hey, second opinion, would you mind taking a guess at what I watched?
Is it Yu-Gi-Oh related?
Nope.
Digimon?
Nope.
Card Captor Online? I don't know.
Nope. I said it was a crime procedural show with a touch of
Law and
supernatural.
Order? Oh,
No?
Supernatural. Hey, I don't know. I'm out of the loop too much.
Well, the answer, my fine feathered friend, is quite literally Lucifer.
Yay!
Yeah.
Lucifer!
Yay!
Oh, didn't I know Daylover was a fan of?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing, so don't come to me if you don't want spoilers.
Mhm.
Oh, guess what? I watched all 6 seasons too.
Yes, you have
me.
to.
Like literally, I'm just letting you know. But like a show like this, which it could have been extended quite longer than its lifespan, like a certain other supernatural show, it decided to end it in 6 seasons and actually gave closure to all of its characters.
That's
Like,
true.
Dang, dang, dang.
and to tell you the truth, I actually cried at the end.
Oh, you too?
I'm like literally first it was discovering the song Black Parade, then it was like the literal pitch perfect ending you could have for these two main characters, and it's just like that's it That's it.
Mm.
All the headaches, all the struggles, all the hills they had to climb, all the nuances, all of it to end in such a glorious display. Really did feel like a phoenix was rising from the ground, or in this case, a devil rising above his past inhibitions.
That's true.
Yeah. And also, I gotta say, Tom Ellis does an amazing job as both Lucifer and Michael.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, he plays two roles.
Yes.
Just get ready for like the whole evil twin plot twist.
Oh,
Mhm.
not again. Oh,
Yes.
No, you're going to like this one. I also thought in the start, oh no, not this again. But the twin is just like so deliciously evil, so you cannot help to be like, oh, okay, I think this is going to be good.
It's just that I've witnessed it on every single trash soap opera known to man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Not again.
Not like this.
Oh, exactly. I was like, not again. I thought we were doing something different.
Well, aside from that, also the betrayals of like the LAPD, like cast, like the humans, are quite amazing. And my favorite character has to be Dr. Linda Martin.
Oh, okay.
That's the therapist, right?
Yes.
Wow.
That
Oh, yeah.
therapist has lived through everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she like an immortal or something?
No.
No. She's just a normal human.
She's just a human.
Yeah.
Who at first it's just doing therapy sessions with Lucifer,
Uh-huh.
but she doesn't believe him. And then after a certain point, when the truth is finally dawned on her, she literally flips out in a very controlled way.
Mm.
Let's just say everyone else does not take it as well as her. And that's why we appreciate the good doctor.
That's true.
Yeah, and also like it's just a lot of great show, like showcasing like celestial beings as like quite fallible, like and really does take a lot of like the mythos and really like puts it on the screen there. Including all the naysayers, like church and such, and making like hell into an actual place of like, oh, it's not really like a place of like, oh, a god judges you to be bad or something. No. It's a place where your soul gets sucked in if you have a lot of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
It's even worse. It's even worse when it's guilt that sends you over to the worst place ever. Yeah. But that's what I ended up
I've
watching.
heard that philosophy before.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's like all in all, I just love all the characters. Really appreciate all the hardships, all the headaches that they go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't underplay mortality in any way, even with immortals in their cast.
Mm-hmm. That's
Which
true.
is kind of an achievement in which Dragon Ball failed to do multiple times because of like how long running shonen is. But
And how many times Goku got brought back?
Yeah.
Even without a wish, am I right?
Yeah, the grandfather of the head of the universe, but only one universe it turned out, except that was kind of actually Beerus, and we have no idea what we're doing anymore. Got it.
We've written ourselves into a corner, and we don't know how to get out.
Yeah, which this transitions nicely well to my next point. Dragon Ball Super is coming back in next year.
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Which means we're possibly going to be dealing with possibly 2 arc recaps of like the Broly movie and the superhero movie.
Okay.
So yeah, like and let me just say, Broly was an amazing movie that fixed a major problem that the original Dragon Ball Z movies did with the character, despite his legendary design, and making him into a sympathetic
that's dumb.
boy.
But he's so cool. But that's dumb.
They fixed the problem. Second, they actually made him sympathetic and also not be fixated on Kakarot. They fixed the major problems with him.
Not roaming. He's not going to be roaming around yelling out Kakarot all the time.
No.
What is happening here?
No. Basically, Toriyama was like, oh, I'm just going to make this awesome design that I just drew for like a movie and just actually write the character myself. That's what Toriyama did. And then Superhero happened, which it was a Gohan Piccolo movie. I am not joking. And Toriyama says Piccolo is his favorite character again. So guess what that means? Actual love and support for the Namekian in the cast. He actually gets 2 transformations in one movie. Not 1, but 2.
Dang.
About time the big green guy got some love.
Yeah.
You can call him the big orange guy now with his final form.
What?
Dang.
Oh, God,
That sounds weird.
I mean, like, nobody who's not relevant in combat ever gets too much love. Piccolo was just kind of the last one to fall off of the non-Saiyans, and heck, even Saiyans fall off kind of, sort of, sometimes.
Oh, yeah, and Gohan goes Gohan Blanco.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Piccolo is probably the underrated character in the cast. I mean, Vegeta kind of stole his thunder on the redemption story, and people like the idea of somebody who just has, like, no compromises on, he's just a total dick to everybody, and he blows everything up he doesn't like, and he never stops talking down to you. But, like, as far as just, the better, richer story, I might actually have to side with Piccolo on that one.
Yeah.
He has the more nuance to his character.
Mm-hmm. Well, I really feel like Superhero might be like probably one of your favorite additions to the Dragon Ball franchise as a whole. Because that's how it feels like, even with its experimental 2.5D animation style. So
interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and also Superhero features a time skip.
Oh no, not a time skip. That way everything is confusing.
It's a 3-year time skip.
Oh, that's not
bad. How old do they want these Saiyans to get?
Well,
actually, they're still not as old as they were at the end of Dragon Ball Z, ironically.
I still reel over the Shippuden like time skip. I'm like, oh, and now I'm like wary of time skips.
Well, in this time skip, Pan is now basically a preschooler. So Pan is actually getting training from Piccolo right now.
As a preschooler.
And Goten and Trunks finally grew up to be teenagers, looking like actual teenagers now.
Well, how about that?
And just for the record, we have all given up on the notion that they're going to retroactive Oob back into the story, right? Even though he is a canonical character.
Yes, he is very much a canonical character and a very important one, since he's the reincarnation of the third villain of Z.
Yeah, well, I mean, he shows up at the end of Dragon Ball Z canonically, but I mean, like, the fact that, how many years did they skip? 10, something like that?
No, it was like 7. It was like 7 because, like, Pan was basically like a 7-year-old then.
I thought it was 7 after the end of... I thought it was 7 after Cell Saga and then another 10.
No.
But yeah, like...
Hello.
It makes zero sense that they did all this in the interim, that Goku is training with Gotenks not being a Super Saiyan God and all that, so I just assumed we gave up on ever putting Oob back in the story.
They mentioned Oob once in Super. He's not completely forgotten. It's just that, like, he's not, like, at that age yet for him to encounter him yet. That's really all.
Fair enough, I guess.
So, yeah. I guess now, aside from that, there's been a recent fan film that has been circulating the YouTubes for Dragon Ball called Legend, A Dragon Ball Tale.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice little 6-minute film that features that is like a 4-year fan-made project by one of the animators that has been known for their work on Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Woo!
Yeah, and when I tell you, it feels like a weird like reboot continuity of like, oh, what would happen if they took Dragon Ball fully into the way of Sun Wukong?
Okay.
Yeah, like, and like does certain things earlier in canon. So yeah, it's kind of like an interesting film that I would recommend everyone to go watch. Like the creator did a fantastic job, and their work is impeccable. Like you would know, like his credits, like when I mentioned Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for specifically the anime-esque fight scenes. It's that same guy. It's the same guy.
Nice.
Impressive.
Like let me, yeah, like just quickly get the name. Yeah, like his channel is Agent Mystery Meat.
Okay.
So yeah, I hope guys will like really enjoy that. And then there's something recently that happened that took me by shock that I didn't think Digimon would have the gall to do to any of its kid characters.
Oh.
Actually kill one of the kid characters off.
Oh, okay.
Oh, of course.
Whoa.
Whoa, wow. I was
Yeah,
expecting one of the Digimon to be killed off before
we
that
already
happened.
We already had multiple Digimon deaths already.
No, the
The
baby ones.
You're talking about their partners?
Yeah.
We already had that happen with Leomon. Do you
But
want
really
that
with
to
the
happen
babies.
again?
Even with the babies. I don't remember that. Wow.
Like
Okay then.
yeah, like it was like Kirishiro, the guy with the jellyfish Digimon. Like he basically dies in this week's episode and literally like goes through like a near-death experience before he's brought back to life. But then he's literally being haunted by a whispering voice that wants him to go to the land of the dead to be his friend. And literally is dealing with like everything and anything in his way, literally trying to kill him off Final Destination style. Until he actually gets run over by a car for his second lifetime. And literally is being carted off by an ambulance to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could have been hilarious if it was the ambulance driving him off.
No, we're not doing JoJo. JoJo already has about ambulances and murders. Yeah. So yeah, like continuing on, like basically the Digimon turns out to be like a monkey champion by the name of Sepikmon, whose only goal is who can only make friends with like spirits and such, and is literally dragging Kuroshiro through the River Styx for him to fully be dead.
Oh, nice.
And he's just screaming for like at the top of his lungs, like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Let me go. I don't want to go. And it's just like, this is Digimon now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
not even your kids are safe.
He forgot his silver coins to pay the ferryman. That's why he couldn't go over the River Styx.
But as well, but like basically the only way for him to actually be saved is for his own partner to be in a near life or death state, for her to be able to get to him in time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like so that was how interesting like a Digimon was this week. But that was not the only kids show to feature a main character dying.
Oh no.
Enter Ghost and Molly McGee's season finale.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. I was like, I was.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, I'm starting to put money on Pokemon.
You've started to put money on Pokemon? Oh, I'm sorry. Right now we're still dealing with the Masters 8 tournament.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, if you don't want to hear about it, just know that like Ghost and Molly McGee, it's not a story-driven show like the previous ones of Amphibia or Owl House. It has its charm. I could definitely say it might be able to perform a bit better than Big City Greens right now, with like the way season one.
From what I've seen of it, because I don't have Disney Plus, so I can't really see it. But what I've seen of that show, it just seems to be aiming for a younger target audience. Like Owl House and Amphibia are more for teens or preteens. This seems to be like an age group below that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, but like it still makes for like a gripping story for like and shows some interesting art styles for like the characters and such. Tries to be a little bit of Phineas and Ferb by having a little song every episode.
Yeah, we like Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
All right. Is it our turn to start sharing shows?
Yeah, you could go ahead and share now.
All right. Or things we have done lately. Like finish Luke Cage.
Yes.
Finally trucked through that slowly but surely.
Nice.
And, what?
I would say nice.
Yeah, well, better. It was kind of better and worse than the first season, which was pretty darn good. Like, on one hand, I would say that, like, this one was paced a little more wonky. Like, yeah, more episodes that felt like the last one. Trying to call it back because it's actually been a few days since we finished it. But, yeah, like, what was one thing? Yeah, Luke, they decided they want rid of the Judas bullets as a plot point, but then they, like, yeah, kind of waffle back and forth between, yeah, new and improved Luke Cage to Luke Cage is only human, and it, like, oh yeah, and the, like, what happens to Piranha mid-season, like, the way that plays out, specifically what Luke decides to do once he has him and could take him anywhere is probably the single stupidest plot point in any Luke Cage episode ever.
Yeah, that's right.
It was pretty flippin' stupid and so obviously in there just so the show could go the route it did. On the flip side, the better comes in with the villains. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's rare that you get so much sympathy for the villains, so you're like, oh, I don't want to see them die now. I wanted them crushed in the start, but now.
I don't know about rare per se, but yeah, the guy I called a talking pair of sunglasses, and the last time I talked about this was now the guy making my heart break every other episode.
Yeah, and also the evil villainess with the evil shoes and mustache.
Oh, Black Miranda. Well, I don't know if that's how I'd even describe her, because like she went from nice and complex, sure, all well and good in the first season to like,
to going overboard to becoming the evil one.
I don't know. I mean, there's the one scene where it comes across as a little like over the top that she would do that, but it was right after she had her life threatened and spent the whole night fighting for her life against long odds. So I mean, yeah, that was. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That she would do that, but I mean that was in response to, being terrorized and like facing what she thought was facing down her own death, like a couple of times through the night. So I mean, not without cause, and I mean she was honestly becoming pretty damn tragedian, and I mean like what I consider the show's apex, until they bring it back, is the scene between her and her daughter where, like, I'll call it the Mariah finally tells the truth scene.
Spoilers.
Yeah, well, I mean, I won't spoil too much, but yeah, like they were talking about, I mean, she was telling her, that's the truth, honey, that's the truth. And it's like, okay, no, this is where she really tells the truth. That was like a suck the oxygen out of the room scene. Like that was.
Even though that, we already know the truth, but hearing
Well,
it.
no, not the reveal. Like we all guessed that, but like just seeing her, face down her daughter and say it bluntly, and like just the two actresses playing off each other, just hitting every beat as it escalates and escalates. I mean, that scene is an icicle through the heart. That is a searing black icicle in the chest. That is like I mean, that's the other thing about what she does next, because, I mean, like, after two people going through that with each other, you'd believe they'd do a lot in response. Oh, and Diamondback also got possibly the biggest upgrade of all, in that he was replaced by Bushmaster.
Yay!
Yeah, Bushmaster was a huge improvement, I thought.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't want to be too hard on Diamondback at first, because, I mean, it seemed like they were trying to do some things with him, but they, with all said and done, it did seem like it amounted to this overly broad, overly, villain. I mean, he honest, like, his flashback, you're like, okay, this is a real person they're trying to build, and then they just cut to this Saturday morning cartoon villain that they have him as in the present, and there's just no attempt to connect the two, other than him, like, bringing up what he, just to be clear, what I'm supposed to be pissed off about stuff, as he's gnashing his teeth and saying his Bible verses and just being this generally ridiculous human being. Like, no, Bushmaster was, I mean, in addition to being fucking cool, he was pretty intense himself. Like, you believed, you felt for him at different points, honestly, for as over the top as he was. They connected it back to something real better than they did with Diamondback. So, I think Bushmaster, as it's kind of weird how this show works. It has like underlying true villains, quote unquote, and then it has a big bad every season. Yeah. All two of them,
and the stupid henchmen that always try to shoot Luke Cage, even though that we know he's bulletproof.
Right. They wouldn't. That's the other pace. They probably reuse that too many times. And like, I mean, if you must, I can see why you must do it several times, because what else are the henchmen gonna try? But don't like build
darts.
it. No, because that would also just bounce off his skin. I mean, no, they have somebody try a taser here and there. They have somebody try to blow him up here and there. Like, sure, but like, don't pace it where like he walks in and he stands there waiting for them to shoot him, and then what's gonna happen, and then they do like him. Don't. I mean, if it's more of the same, then acknowledge it's more of the same. Just cut to the part where he's walking through the gunfire, like, this again, hit you, throw you.
Mm-hmm.
Oy. And I mean,
at least they make it look good. I will admit that. Like, every time it looks good, it's just like after season 2 and the end, and they're still trying to shoot him, and I'm just like, you guys, come on.
I mean, funny enough, they like the very opening of the season is the one that like that goes through the trouble of justifying one more of those scenes. Like, Luke's like, really, guys? He's got to know we tried, man. And like, but then it does the same scene without that part like 10 more times.
Yeah, but I will admit I got surprised about one of the villain, Peter Fox.
He has like that big gun with a lot of stopping power.
Yeah,
like,
I got, like stuff like that. Why are they're not trying more stuff like that?
Okay, but I guess. And then the closing notes though, like teaming up with Iron Fist was pretty cool. Like we decided to at least give Iron Fist season 2 a try. Mm-hmm. I tried to skim season 1 just to see if I could like, all right, I don't know, will your highlights reel get me to defy the advice and not skip you? And instead it's like, okay, so when does something actually happen? Like, I managed to find one scene of Colleen fighting someone in an MMA cage, and it was the most stilted, stiff choreography I've seen. It was like somebody had the idea to bring back the Star Trek original series style of strength versus speed, the left hook that Stephen Hawking could have dodged, and even her choreography. It's like overhand karate chop, another one, both together. Yeah. So, okay, season 2, just the first episode alone, which is all we've seen, seems better than that so far. But Iron Fist, he's honestly not half bad playing off of other characters, like this puppy dog human being that, knows some Zen philosophy that he honestly believes in and is still full of youth and immaturity himself, and has
a lot of power too.
Yeah, well, I mean, he has a
power and money.
He has the martial arts skill with a single trick that is good, not great, but it's, I don't know, you don't see what is special about someone so focused into this one thing in superheroes every so often. So that's a change of pace too, why not? And I kind of liked Luke's thing about what I just came in here with $1 billion. Your glowing hand is the least powerful thing about you.
Mm-hmm.
He has a point too. But fun fact, Power Man and Iron Fist, how the guy says that, that has a nice ring to it. That's not for nothing. The two of them were originally for 70s exploitation trends. Luke with blaxploitation, Iron Fist with martial arts exploitation, 70s action films and stuff. And when the 80s hit and that wasn't a thing anymore, their idea was to put the two of them together and to try to save both series. And I'm betting everyone already has a guess at how that worked out.
No clue.
Yeah. Well, you pessimists would be wrong because it worked. Power Man and Iron Fist was a long-running series that actually sold pretty decent and even has carried over to the modern era a little bit, seeing them teamed up. So the show knew what it was doing when it had them be the little team up for an episode there.
Perfect.
Yeah. And that and where Luke Cage ends at the finale, what is currently his last episode, that makes it feel like a shame we didn't get more Luke Cage in particular. I want to see more Daredevil, of course, but I want to see how Luke Cage ends, quote unquote. I want to see what happens with him in his new position.
Right.
And then we've been seeing Miss Marvel, which I really like so far. I think it captures some of that same it captures some of that same magic from the other Captain Marvel from the Shazam movie with kids being kids, am I right? It's pretty good with that so far. I'm I want to see this last episode hit overdrive because I feel like it's been all the lighthearted character-driven fun so far, and the next level drama. I'm waiting for that shoe to drop because I mean the 5th episode had some, but I feel like we need that. Nah, that's Captain America. We need that. What else? How did you know that whistle, that Hawkeye's thing with Martha, but actually good? Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But that aside, like Ms. Marvel, people are complaining about how her powers aren't the same as in the comics. I'm wondering if they're gonna have these light powers turn into a lot more of the stuff from the comics, because they do intersect a bit. But so far I have kind of enjoyed that depiction. I have a lot of fun with that depiction of powers that aren't that good. They help, but the character still has to do a lot of scrambling and a lot of improv to get the job done.
Ah.
A lot of her powers is similar, the stretching of the hands.
Yeah, that original Marvel girl can stretch. This one has light arms that hard light arms that stretch out, and I'm kind of wondering if they're gonna go that no, she's gonna unleash all of her powers in this last episode, and it is the same. It's just the hard light doing all of it is the explanation. I think they would be wise to do that. I will understand if they want to go a different route, but
all the same, that was pretty good. And might be a relatively light list this week. Like I said, Iron Fist Season 2, Episode 1, not bad. I'm entertained.
I'm wondering if, like, it's possible because season 2 still got relatively lukewarm reviews, but I'm open to the possibility that, like, season 1 just had it trying to get back up from being a leg behind in the race. People kind of treated it that way, like, can you justify yourself existing after I see so much against season 1? But back to you on that one. Otherwise, I went on a pool with some friends, right channel, those classic movies, and yeah, I have a couple who actually want to hear about my boxing sessions, like 8 movies on the Criterion channel based on real people that actually happened. And Humphrey Bogart, like one of them is Humphrey Bogart solved the mystery of whether that champion who was actually recorded being a fraud with fixed fights on occasion. That's the plot. Humphrey Bogart solves that mystery.
Oh, wow.
So, again, have to get back to you on that one. Dave, have we been doing anything else interesting? Because I'm... like geek stuff. Which that low budget horror movie where I think the acting was one of the weaker links, but I mean, if you like a kind of a puzzle sort of a movie, okay, how are we going to puzzle our way out of this scenario with all of our characters bouncing off each other and having serious, intense, semi getting along isms? Yeah, there's like some horror-ish, almost Saw type consequences, but yeah, it's more intellectual than Saw is. Not like, oh, people who don't know the value of life, let's handle that the most edgelord way we can and make them sorry they're gonna get killed. Like, I mean, actually,
what kind of plot is that?
Shit, what's what?
What kind of plot is that?
Oh, that's Saw.
Oh.
Pretty much the Saw movies when they weren't pure torture porn. And they were nothing if not creative about it, so whatever, if you have fun with that. But I mean, yeah, The Cube is one where they apply actual intellectual concepts.
Right.
So yeah, that was pretty fun. But I think that's all we got for now until we go on the geekism. We're about to head to Martial Arts Con, which is basically what these ICMAC tournaments end up being. But yeah, Jenn saw us compete in the last one where we came out limping, but with medals hanging around our necks, so not for nothing. But yeah, now we're going to go to the calm version of that and see how it pans out.
Woo! But lots of luck for the next tournament, for the next martial arts con.
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's all we got.
But speaking of Jenn, I guess you're up next.
Okay. Well, let's see. What I've been doing lately is, last week I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, visiting some family I hadn't seen in a few years. It was one of my closest cousins, and finally meeting all his kids, finding out that somehow he managed to clone me in the form of his oldest daughter, which is kind of cool but kind of creepy at the same time. She's pretty much me 2.0. I'm like, I went away with it. I'm like, man, I should have been like that at 10 years old. But it was cool, like bonding with with family. He was also so kind to me since I got him hooked on the Mandalorian. He decided to play. He decided to sit me down and have me watch the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I've heard we should get started on that Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Obi-Wan sort of thing. I haven't bothered so far, just like, yeah. Disney trying...
Go ahead.
Oh, what?
I was going to say, go ahead.
Well, just Disney with its, we will get you into Star Wars somehow. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just like all the toxic fandom stuff around it made me want to not particularly dive in head first, and Rise of Skywalker. I mean, just Rise of Skywalker, but even so, had me like, oh, this is the lore you want me to get excited about now. But
Yeah,
when
I really enjoyed Kenobi. I really enjoyed it. There were just a couple of little like points that kind of didn't make any sense regarding the character Reva. And then there are some cases in which it's like, okay, it's starting to stretch a little bit with the Force. Whenever they talk about the Force, like we can enable, say, Anakin Skywalker to see the future. Now I'm like, now you're stretching.
Yeah.
Now
I mean,
Well,
there
I
were
haven't seen-
some novels
I
where they
haven't seen-
hinted them, like, at least getting a sense of the... Oh, wait, were you talking about actual Revenge of the Sith where Anakin is sensing the future, or...
Something... Okay, see, Kenobi... See, the first part of Kenobi takes place a little bit after Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Like, the opening scene of it starts...
I think it's like almost.
during
I think it's
the when Palpatine is like execute like Order 666. Is that what it is?
66, that's it.
The one. It literally starts off with some in the middle of the Great Jedi Massacre, pretty much, and then it kind of flashes forward to current. Well, not current, but it flashes forward to 10 years later from that.
Okay.
One is on Tatooine. What was it? Oh no, I lost my train of thought. Crap. Where in the world was I going with it?
10 years, Anakin seeing the future, so they try to expand on that, and apparently it's a little facepalm this time.
Right, and in that you find out one of the quote Inquisitors. Inquisitors. Turns out. No. I'm not going to say it. It's a bit of a spoiler. I'm not going to say it's a bit of a spoiler. I have to recommend you watch it to know what I mean. But once you see it, you may be asking the question, and what happens to her? You may be asking just a bit of question, just a couple of questions. But other than that, everything. It's really, really good. I really recommend it. Now, the next thing on my list is to actually see the Boba Fett series. I need to rewatch Mandalorian for a project that I'm doing. So next on the agenda will be watch the Boba Fett series. Okay. And like I said, I finished Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Kenobi series. Fantastic. Recommend it. I finally got a chance to sit down and watch Sing 2 with my family over the weekend. I came back and then had more family over, and that was my sister and brother-in-law and dog. So we all sat around and we watched Sing 2.
Yeah, because that just hit Netflix.
Love it.
How was it?
Oh, love it. I think I dare say I may like this one more than the first one.
Okay.
And that's
I was about to ask that too, yeah.
I like it. I think I like that Sing 2 more than Sing 1.
Yeah, Sing 1, like, I thought it was doing all right. I face-palmed when it ripped off the third act. There's either a third act breakup or a third act downfall in a lot of these movies, so I face-palmed when it ripped off the third act downfall of Cats Don't Dance. Like,
yeah.
Why did this story even need one of those? But,
I don't know. Well, I don't know. The cats. The Cats Don't Dance one. Is it the one where all the animals get fired from the studio because?
Where I flooded the stage.
Oh my God, Little Miss Dimple, freaking psycho. Probably the inspiration for Cozy Glow, which I can't get mad at anyway. But I guess the part where like in there like they find out that Buster had lied about the money.
Yeah.
Okay, that part. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like that I could understand. Like, okay, if it was just that they found out, and then like he has to explain himself and convince them that this show is worth putting on anyway. Fine. Why does it need a giant blood from Cats Don't Dance?
A giant what?
Blood. They ruined a studio. Oh, what a bunch of mooks. Like, guys, that was like that has nothing to do with anything that seems like a very pointless, like, oh, they also have to come back from that, by the way.
I'm trying to remember. Now I'm trying to remember what the big old fallout Sing 2 was. Was it? See, I didn't think there was that much of a. The only fallout really was to me what seemed like a fallout would be like Portia would be Portia being like screaming to her father, thinking that Moon had fired her when really he was just gonna write her into another role, and like Jimmy Crystal like pretty much threatens to kill him. Pretty much threatens to kill him, but then like throws him in the closet, and then Suki has to get him out. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. It was like, that's not that bad, honestly.
But
so I guess Sing 2 then would get my vote over 1 there. 1 did really rally with its finale show. Did 2 have a finale show to match?
It did have a finale. It did have a finale show, but it was really good. It was really good though.
To summarize my thoughts on Sing 2 is I feel some of the like side character stories were maybe better in 1 in terms of like the hit or misses were like the supporting cast, all the singers. Right. But I feel the main story of 2 was a lot better than the main story of 1. Like the sort of connecting thing. The main connecting story with it was better, and it's also just sort of bigger budget, and a lot of the side stories are still good, but it's just somewhere. I just feel the biggest issue with 2, I would say, is that there's sort of too many characters, and it doesn't know what to do with all of them at the time.
Right.
Because it has basically almost all the characters from 1 plus more characters. I think there's only like 1 side character that's not from 1 that's not returning.
Mike.
I like singers.
What is a mouse? What has he got? That's my
that
guess
was
anyway.
Mike. It was Seth MacFarlane's character, Mike the Mouse.
Yeah, that's the one that doesn't return, and then like it's not like in the singing cast, but like there's one Koala's best friend.
The sheep nephew of the Nana singer, of that really that famous singer that's like a sheep, and her nephew or whatever that is. That one didn't come back.
Yeah, those are the 2 that didn't come back, but like most of the main cast returns, plus there's like a whole bunch of new characters too. So it's like, some of the characters feel a little rushed with their developments. But I would say overall, it's a better film just because I think the core like main story that connects everything is better in 2.
Yeah, I liked they definitely upped the ante with some of the characters in 2 with Johnny and Rosita. I loved it that they explored like real things like the pressures. I liked seeing how the pressures of Red Short City kind of getting to them, and particularly with Rosita, and all of a sudden, boom, she's got a fear of heights. And I really liked it. Like afterwards, she kind of collapses forth, and she's like, and this also speaks to Buster Moon's character because he's so caring. I love it how he's so caring about his cast, and he's like, "Are you okay? You didn't tell me you're afraid of heights." And she's like, "Wait a minute, I never was. I don't know what happened." And it's one of those things that you could find out you could just be afraid of something in a flash. And I thought that was kind of real. Like all of a sudden the pressures really hit for Rosita and Johnny and such. I loved watching their kind of struggles with it, and I love it how like Rosita had to be forced to kind of, how both of them were kind of forced to, I guess, stand their ground and just conquer their fears in a sense.
Yeah, and also like it does sort of make sense, like her fear, because it's isn't just like, she suddenly has like whatever that's a fear of heights technically called. But like the situation,
agoraphobia?
maybe. But yeah, but because it's the situation that leads to it makes sense because that's something like what she's been sort of like her task to do is something that that would scare most normal people. So it's understandable why she might suddenly be overrun with that fear.
Right.
Only thing I'll say, like for the climactic comparisons, that I honestly really felt for all of Sing 1's big climactic performances. Shake It Off was fun coming from the housewife pig. I thought Johnny the Gorilla stole the show. So people were finally starting to realize that my way is awesome, so I can approve of that. Porcupine was fun. The only thing I'll say against it was that it seemed to think that, its climactic show stealer was the shy elephant, and that is the only song I always forget.
Right.
I remember the mouse making a face at her like, wait a minute. This is good, but
I remember I actually thought, I keep saying it was like my sister and I were like kind of got into an argument. I'm like I thought it was Ariana Grande that was voicing and singing the elephant, Mina. And she's like, no, it's not her. I was like, yeah, it is her. And, yeah, it is her. And we made this big argument about it. And then finally she Googled it and it was like Tori Kelly. I was like, what? She sounds like her.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, this shows this really means like pop singers, it seems, are just melding into each other and sounding like each other.
Yeah, a lot of the time.
And it's like, I can't tell who's who.
Oh.
But either way, I liked Sing 1 was a good start. Sing 1 was a good start, but Sing 2, I really like that better. I like the songs that I think I liked the final showing they did. I definitely like that better in Sing 2 than in Sing 1.
Okay.
I definitely like the songs they used in Sing 2 better.
Okay. I mean, I'm Still Standing is pretty great, but I guess, the songs themselves, My Way is also pretty great, but otherwise, I guess, the rest of them were pretty toppable, I will admit.
Yeah. But yeah, I will always, I loved, have you seen Sing 2?
No.
Okay. But yeah, what about the rendition of I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For at the end?
Looking for another rendition of?
Yeah, it was like I said, what do you think about that? The new rendition of their version of I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For.
Oh.
No, he hasn't seen it.
Oh, he has not?
Has not, sorry.
Crap! I accidentally spoiled a part of it. Crap!
Well, that being the song, I feel like that's not too big a spoiler. Like, I still don't know who sings it even, so yeah.
Okay, well, I will shut up over there in that case. We did watch, other than Sing 2, which is amazing, which I can totally see myself going back to again. But other than that, there was another movie on Netflix that we watched. It's a brand new. I don't remember the title, but it was Spencer something. Spencer something, but it had Mark Wahlberg, and at some point it had Post Malone in the movie too. Pretty good. It's actually quite fun. It's good fun. It's a good sit down movie. Like, I'm gonna find out what that is. Hang on a second. What Netflix special had Mark Wahlberg and Post Malone in it? Come on. I did not ask for Netflix. Wow.
Why you do these things to me?
What movie had Mark Wahlberg and Post Malone in it? Just don't say Netflix, and we'll go to Netflix. It still went to Netflix. Oh my god. Wow. It still went to Netflix. That's hilarious. Let's try on the laptop. Okay. Let's see. What movie had Mark Wahlberg. I can't spell.
Spencer Confidential.
I think that might be it. And Post Malone in it.
Yeah, it looks like that's it. Spencer Confidential.
That's it. Yep. Spencer Confidential. Yes.
What a weird name.
Yes, Spencer Confidential. That's quite fun.
Cool.
That's quite fun, but it also seems like yet another love letter to Boston, Boston.
Yeah. Boston.
Boston.
Stick it with all the ones that Boston gave itself.
Lobster. Chowder. Hey, works for me. Why not? Why not? Why not? They should allow them. Definitely pat themselves on the back.
Hey. And so they have. A lot.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, each one, I would think each one is deserved.
Okay, well, what do you like Boston for in particular?
Well, first off, lobster. Second of all, chowder. and my favorite boy band group of all time, New Kids on the Block. That's right. I am an 80s baby. What? You want to go? You want to go right now? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Hi. Only I could stop hearing about the Patriot side. Be all over that.
Hey, are they out of Boston?
The New England Patriots, as SNL put it, going on about how nobody messes with Boston, and one guy in the back, and Connecticut, yeah.
That's funny. I talked about the other things in Boston. I didn't know. I forgot about the Patriots. I didn't even know where the Patriots were. I just know New England. I was like, that could be anywhere in that area.
Yeah. Hey. Very educational, you see.
Very educational.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
all right.
Other than that, one last thing. Episode Case 2-7 of Elements of Justice is out right now. Go see it.
Okay, then.
That's all.
All right.
I get that plug.
All right, and I guess for me, I've just not been keeping up too much. I've started the game wise. I started playing Crash 4 because it's actually a free PS Plus game. So I'm very glad I did not get at the most recent sale. So that worked out. But I haven't really got far yet. But it seems to actually be a very good game and significantly better than like the remake. But besides that, not anime-wise, but cartoon-wise, I also finally watched Young Justice Season 4. And, yeah, my thing is, like, the structure was just sort of weird. There was not really a main plot of the season. It was just, like, a lot of, like, subplots that are just sort of, like, there's basically mini-arcs for focusing more on certain characters of the team. They sort of pay off, but it's just sort of like there's not really a big bad finale like there was for a lot of the previous seasons. So like it was not bad because some of the stuff was good, but like it was just such a weird structure. Like it just felt like a sort of in between season before I had something bigger.
I definitely want to add my 2 cents in it if it's possible.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, like, do you guys mind spoilers or no? For Young Justice.
I'm not prone to watch it in the near future, so whatever.
All right. Dave, Jen? Are you okay with spoilers for Young
I think
Justice?
you're good.
Okay. All right. I should explain this. Well, season 4 basically starts and bookends with like basically this big relationship that was building up all the way from season 1, and to actually see it end happily after extreme heartache and extreme hardships is fantastic. I don't have any problems with that. But then there was also some lulls in the story. Like, for example,
Lol. I know what you mean.
yeah, so basically it's stuff like the Zatanna, like her subplot about like, okay, I want to subterfuge this plan by raising my own cadets for like possibly gaining the helmet, so I could possibly free my father from like this condition of being Dr. Fate forever, and possibly not see me like as like a normal human being for the rest of my life. And basically, as an end result, she succeeds in that after a few episodes. But it feels like it's a lot of plot for a bunch of characters that we don't really get to know much of. And it sort of like sets up like a villain in there for like season 5 and beyond. And it's just like, I don't really particularly care. Like what? Referencing like Shazam mythos for like Black Mary? I just don't care. Like, it's one of the biggest drawbacks of Young Justice trying to be like a multiversal DC show with such little space for it, you know? You gotta do like low scale. Make those stories. Not try to expand the universe too much with like, okay, if you're gonna introduce these characters, why not have an entire season for it with these new characters like you did with season 3? Even though season 3 wasn't the best, it was the best way of like introducing a whole bunch of new hero characters there. But then we get interjections of stuff of like, oh, I don't know, Beast Boy's ever increasing depression and wanting to be by himself, and it's just like, I thought we would be finished with this by like the end of season 3, but no, it just keeps on progressing, and then the stuff with the marriage leads to this happening even further. Just it's just, it's such a struggle, and it's like, and I can't emotionally connect with this version of Beast Boy. Like, it just feels like we only got introduced to him like in part in a season 1 episode. Then his role gets expanded a bit in season 2. Then he really becomes a mainstay for like the second half of season 3. And then he's there like at the beginning of season 4. Then in parts of season 4 in which like he's losing control of his own life, doesn't want to do anything and such. And it just really is like, they don't really handle it like the best. Like, if it's not like a whole storyline, like all focused like together instead of like being sporadic, it just makes the conflict a lot more drawn out, which I feel like that was what they were trying to do. But I feel like it negatively impacts like the audience retention about that. And then is the whole Phantom Zone stuff with like introducing like the Zod family and having Superboy be reprogrammed back to his base instincts all the way back in season 1, and him being like raised up to be like a soldier for Zod, which that leads to the season finale, in which like he's about to like do like the neck break on the Superman in front of everyone in Metropolis. Don't ask. I just heard someone say, "Don't ask." Oh God, that was so funny. Whoever whispered that, gold star. But yeah, after like all of that, like, and then it ends with like Superboy regaining like his memories back and not doing the deed. Just leads to a lot of happy stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. Time travel is also a major part of this season. And I couldn't even get over that part. Oh boy. Time travel.
So yeah, a lot of directions here.
Yeah, a lot of directions. Oh, and guess what? We also bring back a fan favorite character from one of the canceled DC Universe shows. Just because. And it's Razor from the Green Lantern series. I would be more happy, but it just feels like, okay, you're really trying to make Young Justice into the definitive DC Universe show, even more than Justice League was in the early 2000s. I mean, it's fun for those fans like me who's a Green Lantern fan, but for everyone else, it's like, why should we care about this guy who's a Blue Lantern who wants to get back into the Red Lantern? And you wouldn't understand the conflict unless you watched the series before that. It's a major conundrum. It's a major conundrum. Oh yeah, and then also one of the characters from season 3 has a romantic subplot with another forager. Yeah, the bug guy. Who's voiced by Cree Summer, by the way. And then she becomes a Green Lantern, and it's just like, at the result that like the losing of like one of the long-term Green Lantern like sub-characters that we usually see. But
sort of replaced by his son just being also a Green Lantern.
And it's just like sad. It's like nothing changes, even though the supposed character staff is supposed to mean something. And when it means something, it will say like Kilowog or something like that, someone that we know a lot more of from other series. But this Beak guy is the only other distinct alien Green Lantern that we know, but we barely get any character of in any series.
Though I do find it funny how they sort of finally address in this season, like, why the heck are there so many Green Lanterns from Earth?
Yeah.
Which is to say in the off comment that is like, oh, with all this superhuman and supervillain stuff going on, there's this it creates a lot of situations that need great will. So there's a whole bunch of Green Lanterns that are just popping out from Earth.
Yeah, including the squirrel. Yeah. There's a lot of conflicts. But yeah, that's really is the thing with like Young Justice. Like, it started off interesting, like going with like the whole fake death of Superboy during the marriage of him and Miss Martian. So yeah, that was a thing. And then we finally bookended with their marriage actually happening on Earth, and well, yeah, it feels really great, but then at the same time, it's like it's a good bookend, but it's also like not a good journey to get to that point. So yeah.
All right, but besides that, the only anime thing I've also been capped off there, it's just I'm gonna pull up just to make sure I get the title right. Is Crunchyroll error occurred. No. It's Life with an Ordinary. Gosh dang it, Crunchyroll. Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout. A guy. That's the title.
Wait. You're talking about that anime right now?
Yeah, I got through more than half of it.
Yeah, that one was a bit of like bros before being forced to be romantically interested with each other. Gotcha. It's that type of weird series. It's like,
yeah, to give the summary of the plot for everyone else, it's like basically isekai where two people get transported to another world to be heroes, but they sort of get transported by the goddess of love who decides to basically troll and turns one of them into a girl with like basically charm affinity. And they no other skill besides basically getting into all chaos.
And there you have it.
Yep.
Maybe it's just because I saw too much Hercules: The Legendary Journeys when I was a kid, but I was thinking of that episode where Aphrodite takes a bet that she can ruin the union of two king, like some prince and some princess, and she doesn't need a handsome, dashing hero to do it. She can make do with anyone. So she, turns the series comic relief when that's the one assigned to her into a dashing enough hero to steal the princess's eye.
But Yeah, but yeah, that's sort of what I've been up to, and also sort of getting ready for Trotcon, which we'll eventually be talking about.
Yep.
But let me see what I was going to say. I guess we need to move on to news stories, as we've been talking for an hour and 9 minutes already. Not much, I guess. There's some slight news. Is basically the Twitter Musk drama continues, where the deal is now off? ? Where
And nobody missed
he's
him.
basically
Nope.
yeah, he's trying to say, he's like, oh, I want to remove my offer now because they didn't give me the bot data, like how many
It's
are
because-
fake accounts.
It's because he's going to buy Disney instead.
But then Twitter's like, no, we're going to sue you and make us buy it, which it's sort of like weird what's going on, but a lot of people believe that this is actually a play by him to basically force them to hand over the bot data, which is basically how many accounts are actually real and how many are fake. Because if they do sue him and go to court, they will be forced to sort of do that, which will probably like drop their stock even worse than like him losing his offer on it. So it's basically he gets what he wants, or they're going to be dead. Their stock is going to plummet. So yeah, it's like a weird thing that they believe it's a game he's doing just to sort of get the info he wants and probably get a lower deal on the sale, basically saying, oh, they falsified data, which is probably true to a certain degree. Because Twitter officially says only 5% of their accounts are fake or bots.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Yeah, most people conclude that's a lie. So, yeah, so the Twitter drama continues. Next up is
who has the more annoying ego between the two.
But I guess up is now, next thing is a sort of slight stories like Thor is out and apparently not getting great Metacritic review. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes review. It's the first Marvel film in a while to be in the 60s.
Yeah.
How about that?
Since Thor 2.
Impressive.
Yeah. I don't know. I am curious as to what the reason's going to be. It sounds like it's people didn't think it was as good a mix of what it was trying to do as Ragnarok was, but I have heard people accuse reactionaries of just deciding that they don't like comedy anymore in their superhero movies, that we're swinging back the other way towards serious or something now.
If you don't like comedy in your superhero movies, what is wrong with you?
And it could also just be sort of it could also just be just burnout, critical burnout from the Marvel films, where if it's not really doing anything new in terms of like interesting casting or like pushing certain political issues, like this Thor, like the new Thor film just basically seems to be basically a good popcorn flick, which might not be really enough to get much critical love.
Could be burnout, but I mean, it does sound like they're describing a movie that just isn't as cohesive. Like, the one thing I saw scrolling reviews that seemed to be a consistent theme is that of, directionlessness, of, stuff fading in and out without feeling totally complete, of maybe not tonal whiplash, but, just not being as satisfying as some other ones on either tone. So I don't know. It might, like, as much as I wanted this one to kill it, because I'd like Natalie Portman jumping back in for the story of Thor Act 2, or Part 2, whatever you want to call it. Like, now we have both of them fulfilling their full awesomeness. I wanted that. I don't know if that sounds like what we're gonna get.
But because that one's interesting. Like, I would offer more, but I really don't know. I haven't seen it, and I haven't really even read too many reviews of it, so I can only speculate. Next up in the news story is, also sort of in a flop thing, which I don't think we talked about this, but in terms of a more financial flop, is Lightyear came out and basically underwhelmed everyone's expectations in terms of box office.
And that's
being readily destroyed by the minions.
It looked really good. I was thinking like, hey, this could work, and now it's not that good at all. I'm shocked. Honestly.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw a bit of it.
Yeah. So this is the second Disney spin-off sci-fi movie that recast a younger version of a famous character that flopped.
Yeah.
Now the prejudiced folks want to jump up and down like, ooh, the gay couple. It was because of the gay couple. Yeah, go, bro, gay couple, gay. Like, oh, sure, and it has nothing to do with the fact that it was a so-so reviewed spin-off of a more beloved property, a concept that has a track record of doing worse during a pandemic with, 3 slam-bang movies worth of competition at the box office. Oh, please, tell us how it's all about your egos.
Yeah, my theory as to why it failed is one, I feel is the biggest one is this is sort of Disney's fault, when they canceled the theatrical release of Red, is they conditioned people to expect Pixar means Disney Plus, and they are reaping that right now. I feel to a certain degree. Because other companies who kept at least a simultaneous release or direct to theaters for months, even over a year now, are having pretty big successes at the box office. Look at Paramount. I was just looking this up recently. Top Gun Maverick made over $1 billion at the box office. Minions, the new Minions one, is doing great from what I understand, box office wise, and so it just seems to be sort of Disney sort of should have released Red in theaters and sort of got back into those these are theatrical releases, but I feel that's the biggest factor sort of here, just because people are conditioned to sort of expect now that Pixar means we're going to see on Disney Plus. And then the other factor, which I sort of hinted at in my joke earlier, is this is a Toy Story spin-off film, but it doesn't have your main character returning. Tim Allen is not part of this very noticeably. Even to the jokes of Tom Hanks, he was joking about this. So yeah, it's just sort of a weird thing. I guess sort of with Solo, people didn't really want a Han Solo spin-off film without gosh, I forgot. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah,
people did people would have died. People would have died as much as Harrison Ford would have wanted to kill it. Another Han Solo film with Harrison Ford. People would have seen that, but a spin-off one with another actor that's younger, that's just sort of a more harder sell, and it's sort of a similar effect here. This is not the same Buzz Lightyear, not even really styled the same. It was a toy, but it's what the toy was basically based on. The show that was presented is still very different from what seems to be this sort of Buzz Lightyear. And then they also don't have Tim Allen returning, which
right.
The thing is it's because the voice of the toy is different from the actual shows. Not really. Usually it's the same, or at the very least someone that's supposed to sound like the person. So yeah, it was just sort of a weird combo of not the spin-off people wanted, plus people conditioned to sort of expect Disney Pixar films for Disney Plus releases. I mean, that's my two combo theory why it didn't really do well.
As much as I'd love that first one to be true, and believe me, I would, I have a feeling that, as much as, we geeks know more about this now, that there's a pretty wide audience still for whom animation just means animation, that, my kids want to see that one, and I have to get it where now? Okay, whatever. I wouldn't predict an overwhelming effect on that one. The second part, I think, the spin-off without your favorite characters, which, what that brings up to me is, there might be a level on which people are saying, okay, my Toy Story character without all the other Toy Story characters I like, without, a lot of the same appeal for that matter. I know that, once again, the right crowd made a stink like, because Tim Allen is conservative. It's a conspiracy. I'm like, yeah, well, that's why they've got a big new The Santa Claus show from the exact same company coming for him, right? But, this is probably, and I will concede, the biggest draw that voice actors have ever been, and I still not really feeling the chutzpah, love to think that it's actually that big. Like, I mean, as far as kids wanting to see the movie go, do they even know who Tim Allen is? And like, because I don't know. I mean, I loosely see the logic, like, okay, let's get someone who is going to be around for a few more years for the franchise that is now not going to happen because it didn't make any money. Yeah, loosely see that. I think it's, if I had to guess, I would say more like the second theory, but in the sense of, the movie itself just didn't seem to bring a lot of, or didn't advertise itself as bringing a lot of what people love about the franchise. Like, I don't know, where's the money shot of him using his laser and his gravity belt just the way they were always implying that he does? Where's that in the trailer? Where's Emperor Zurg doing
they do
Zurg
show
shtick?
Zurg for a little bit.
Yeah, where's the, okay, this is the kind of villain Zurg is gonna be on the big screen. I mean, heck, they said the idea is, okay, let's just make the movie that Andy saw when the toy came out, and everybody's saying that, like, there's no way that this is that movie. I mean,
but yeah, like I said, those are my theories. It's just sort of guessing, really. But the last news story for this is, I sort of showed Carlos about this earlier. But yeah, the Xenoblade 3's pre-orders for their special edition opened up a second time because they sort of crashed the Nintendo store the first time. So they said, we'll come back in a few weeks with a new one and announce it. They announced it like the day beforehand and didn't give a time. They were opening it the next day. It still crashed Nintendo's entire website again. And they sold out again, which, yeah, I failed to get a special edition. Literally, it was easier to get a PS5 than to try to get the special edition for some reason.
People. This is Xenoblade 3. Legitimately, something that's trying to harken back to the original Xenoblade Chronicles in terms of themes, while still mixing it up with the continuity of 2. It's going to be something that might, I don't know, be a sister competitor with Zelda? I don't know. I'm just, like, the way people are hyped up about Xenoblade right now is just like, Xenoblade might have the whole epic storytelling JRPG for like Nintendo right now, it just has that feeling to everyone. That's why.
But well, I mean, not just that. Like, I just feel this example of Nintendo just sort of being incompetent, because if you even look up the special edition, how it was released, you essentially were just buying the game at like day one thing, and then they would send you like sometime in the fall like the special edition content, which is like the art book and like the steel case and all that. So it wasn't even like they had a limited number. They literally could have just taken as many pre-orders and then had that fulfilled after the fact at some nebulous point, yet they didn't. They literally would not let people give them their money for reasons. And also, like, there's an amount of like Xenoblade fans I know isn't, like, to be frank, this is Xenoblade. This is not like Final Fantasy. This is not Dragon Quest. This is not even like Persona in terms of like how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
I am surprised that many like Xenoblade fans were able to crash Nintendo's entire website. That tells me more that their website was very crap, more than anything else.
Yeah, that would be true. It is kind of like a niche game, like how Persona used to be. I think that's what we should compare it to. Persona before Persona 5.
Yeah, that's what it's sort of going for. Like Persona 5, like is sort of like the big Square Enix like JRPG that's out. And like this is sort of like like Persona before 5, where it's like everyone's aware of it, but it's still niche. So like this is like if this was like sort of a Zelda, like this is a limited edition Zelda, like it has 3 Zelda games, there's only 1 million sold. Like I'd understand that many people trying to get it, like that special edition. It would crash the site under normal conditions, but like still, there's not that many Xenoblade fans trying to get a special edition that costs more than the regular game. Like the day like it first drops. So like, I wish there was that many fans. There's not that many fans. Nintendo, get your shit together. But yeah, overall, I think Xenoblade 3, I feel will probably do better than 2, at least critically, just because I feel it's releasing at a much better time. Because it's basically releasing at the end late of the summer where there's not really any big games around it, so like critics and like fans can have basically dedicate time to it, compared to Xenoblade 2, which was released in like December of like the Switch year's release, and critics got it like November, so it's like it was easily, they should have just probably waited to January so it actually got some attention. But yeah, I feel we'll do better critically than 2, just because it's better situated time, and there's sort of no other big Nintendo games like it besides, I guess, coming out this year. I guess there's Pokemon, but Pokemon's sort of its own thing.
There's something.
And there's the Squid Game.
Then there's also something awkward releasing the day before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, actually.
That's releasing before it?
Oh, just Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days. I'm not kidding. I saw the data and was like, what are you doing, Bushy Road? You are literally just making that game not possibly getting a good sale if you're selling it the day before Scarlet and Violet. Do you have any idea how much crossover? Do you have any idea how much crossover the Vanguard community has with the Pokemon community? It's like this close. Like it's like we're all neighbors and such. It's not gonna be fun days for like the Switch exclusive aside from like the PC port. Which that's also another thing. This is gonna be the first Vanguard game on Steam. So guess what that means?
You're gonna play it.
This is gonna be the first time that like it's not gonna be region locked and it's not gonna be exclusive for Japan only. The first Vanguard game. I am telling you.
Woo!
I am telling you as a Vanguard fan, I know the temptation is there for Scarlet and Violet. Get that first. But then afterwards, if you're interested in possibly partaking in a little bit of what I do constantly IRL or in Vanguard Zero, play Deer Days. Because it's also going to be a video game that features a female protagonist. That's right. Card game, video game with a female protagonist.
Ooh.
Yes.
But,
everybody can be a geek.
Yeah.
Before moving on to our main story, I also do want to note that it is sort of odd that we still haven't really got the rest of the details into Pokemon yet.
There's been a leak recently.
I mean, there's leaks, but like at this point, usually Nintendo would have like a big, either a conference or even just a special Pokemon thing that's just announcing like, oh, here's like the special features of this game that are like the new like gimmicky things, and also here's the actual. We're not revealing the final forms. Here's the second forms, all the starter sort of stuff. But like, it's just hardly anything, which is a surprise. Like we're into July.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm thinking like maybe like since for like the Pokemon anime, they're trying to hold that stuff off until after they do quite a bunch of stuff for like in the summer. And once it starts coming to like September, then they're going to start hitting us hard with like new updates.
Yeah, I feel it will probably drop just when everyone's talking about there is supposed to be some sort of big Nintendo Direct soon that was sort of like it would have been their like E3 thing, but that's not E3. So that's probably coming up soon, but could be August instead of like July or something like that.
Yeah, but then I don't know if you have this as for like your news story, Derek. There is something that should be discussed about that. We unfortunately had like a very big.
The Yu-Gi-Oh news.
Yes, the Yu-Gi-Oh news.
Mm.
Kazaki Takahashi has passed away. The original creator for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. It's been something that's been hard to swallow for every single card game player.
True.
Because, seriously, it doesn't matter if you're a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan or not. All card game players have to respect the hell out of Kazaki's ambition. Being influenced by JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to create like an interesting story about a kid like going into the dark arts to like play games, and then that soon became like its own like trading card game.
Right.
After a
Yep.
bit.
Because, well, the thing is, like, Magic the Gathering came first, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a sort of series that really popularized, like, card games with the masses.
Yeah, you can't really remember the 2000s without talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Its iconic opening, the 4Kids dubbing, like, all the memes. The first abridged series, official abridged series, is literally Yu-Gi-Oh!
Right.
It's that sort of type of stuff that's like, I might be distant from the game, but I won't disrespect the memory of that man. That man's legacy will continue on even with the new adaptations, the new series. We're already on the 8th series for Yu-Gi-Oh! And it looks like it's not going to stop.
Nope, never.
Truth.
Yeah, so...
It's like Pokemon, it's no ending.
Yeah.
Goes on and on and on.
And they're always going to be 10 years old.
Well, no, not for like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh's like actually goes for generational. Like,
but he looks like he's 10 sometimes, Yugi.
No, even though he's actually
he doesn't look like that anymore. They had him grow up in the
they had
sequel
him
series.
grow up a little bit. Okay, I haven't seen that.
He grew up to be basically the same thing as his alter ego.
Oh,
yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I like those.
Yeah.
Basically going for the Shazam thing, where he eventually does sort of look like the actual like grown-up version of him.
Yeah. And then there's also the thing about like the sequel series, like GX was loosely connected with Duel Monsters taking place in the same world but 10 years in the future. 5D is basically 30 years in a supposed similar Domino City, but with classism and such. Then Zexal was just like, let's try to do a bit of a reboot with like a bit of a younger cast, but then also have Space Hell go up against Space Heaven.
Space Hell go up against Space Heaven.
Yes!
Dun, dun.
We need Heaven and Hell Pokemon too. I want that so bad.
Oh my, you know what? Yes. I want that too. I want that too. Here we go. Mecha Pokemon.
Then 5Ds tried to be like an anniversary season, but then that crashed and burned. Like one of the worst tragedies possible. Everyone tried to bring back some of the most popular side characters. Varane's was it tried to be the Matrix with the AIs trying to take over. But it kind of lost the joy and fun of some older Yu-Gi-Oh seasons. Just for all-out serious conflict with hackers going up against each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we're currently at the Rush series, in which like we literally have like these middle schoolers or like sixth grader elementary schoolers basically like playing like a faster version of Yu-Gi-Oh! And which you get to draw up to 5 cards each and every turn, so you can never have like a bad hand.
Right.
Even if you have a bad hand during the first turn. And while sorry if you wanted to say something, Derek.
I was just going to say, I was just going to transition us to the main topic. But yeah, because I know it's been a while. It's getting late, and those some of us probably have some work tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to transition quickly to the main topic, which is with Trotcon coming on this weekend, which unfortunately I think I'm the only one in this group going. But with that coming up, like I just thought it was a good time to just sort of discuss conventions and sort of like what's everyone's history with going to like fan conventions.
Can I go first?
Yeah, Jim.
Okay. I've actually been going to conventions. I first started in around, I would say 2005. And, when I'd first heard about these like on the internet for like a long time, and first going to it, it was like, it was like Fluttershy when she first, got to the ground. She's like, "What is this place filled with so many wonders?" It was like that, honestly. Only no singing on her part. But it was like, "Oh wow! Oh my gosh! Everything!" And so it was cool, like just seeing seeing all the people that I would meet, the cool costumes, the merch. Oh my goodness. So my first run was it was all for one. It was all just like wonder, and then it was like and that kind of kept going with like the anime conventions I would go to, and then it was like to 2013 or 2012 that I went to my first PonyCon, which was BronyCon, and that actually, and the crazy thing is, I have more fun now at the PonyCons than the anime ones. BronyCon, I'll never forget. BronyCon 2012 was like the greatest convention of my life. How sometimes when people go to conventions and then they leave and they have this like post-con depression, I had instead post-con inspiration. When I left BronyCon, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get a pencil and start writing and start drawing and start creating. And it's one of the reasons I still like revere the Brony fandom so much, because the creativity of it was just amazing. It was just mind blowing. And I went away from it meeting some brand new friends and just feeling inspired to create. And that I never got that feeling with anime conventions. And I still had that kind of feeling with PonyCons too. Trotcon, now my experience with Trotcon is a little bit different than BronyCon. It's fun was still had, but the thing is, Trotcon is a smaller, more intimate venue than BronyCon is. So programming wise, it may not be a lot, but if small cons are your jam, Trotcon is a definite good choice because of its small and intimate. I don't know how small and intimate it's going to stay, honestly, now that BronyCon's gone. But other than that, like it's Trotcon didn't have a lot of the programming, and it doesn't have a lot of the quote show talent that BronyCon does. It starts. One thing I'm seeing now is a lot of cons, they're starting to turn into more fandom guests rather than actual industry guests. So, but I understand it's a little bit of I can understand a shift. There's a bit of a shift happening. There's more fandom guests in these than industry guests.
I think for Trotcon this year, I think the only major like voice actor that's coming this time is Andrew Ledman.
Well, there we go. That's the only one. That's the only one, really.
And then like last time for like the sort of mini con that was in December, like they had, I think it was either Ocellus or
the actor played Ocellus, huh?
Either the actors who played Ocellus or what was the what was the Yaks one called? Yona?
Oh, you want to play Yona?
It's one of those two. I can't remember. I kept trying to fact check about it. Just kept checking me to the recent.
Thanks for being distracted. I would have loved to have seen the actress who plays Yona. I love Yona. She's so freaking cute.
I think it was Ocellus, though. I think that's the one who was like the voice actors who appeared at BronyCon last time.
That was probably you mean at Trotcon?
Yeah, Trotcon.
Yeah. I know. I know. Don't worry. I have post BronyCon flashbacks too. But yeah, BronyCon especially like at the PonyCons, it's essentially it just had more fun, way more fun there. One trend I'm noticing with anime cons is as I grow up, tastes change and it's hard to keep up with fandoms and stuff that you're watching. I mean, and your watch list gets beyond 3 miles long. But you start seeing more like people. I think with the anime conventions, they can still have the industry guests, but definitely some of the big high traffic areas like California, New York. I haven't been to one in a long time, but the only time I stopped, I thought I was done with it for a while, because all we did was we went, because I don't even remember what venue this was. All we did was we went to the vendor's room, got something to eat in the food court, went back to the hotel room, and that was it. I didn't care about the programming that was there. It was mostly just fandom panels and discussions, and it just seems like it's way too easy to devote. And the almost what it seems mandatory over 18 panel.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Over 18 panels.
This was the roast of M.A. Larson, I think the only one I went to.
Oh shoot! Now that's an 18 plus party. I wish I could have gone to.
Yeah.
The roast of M.A. Larson. Okay, I would have camped out for that, because
I'm finding like at least for Trotcon, like there's sort of like 3 different types of over 18 panels.
Yeah.
There's the over 18, like just sort of like they're going to just have more adult jokes and humor stuff.
Oh yeah.
Then there's like the over 21 panels, which are just like alcohol will be present and probably sold or stuff like that.
Oh no.
And then there's the over 18 like kinky stuff.
Right.
But yeah, there's like different flavors of like over 18, which are very different things I've found.
Gosh, they're covering their bases, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, that was just from the one, because I only went to the minicon last December, so
Sorry, go ahead.
So like I'll get the more full experience this time, but
you gotta let me know what that's like. The first and last time I went to an 18 plus panel was actually a Trotcon. I was with my sister. And her husband, and I remember absolutely nothing except a bunch of alcohol, an electric toy race, which I cannot say what it really was. And I can't say what it really was. I really can't, because I don't want to risk any kids having to listen to this. But yeah, it was some sort of a race, and then some sort of concoction that I swear looked like swamp water, and I have no memory of that. and I have no memory of the rest of it. And I woke up thinking, like, something tells me I want to forget about this.
Yeah.
But it just seems like with cons these days, that is it almost mandatory to have at least an over 18, an 18 over panel, and is it just going to be dumb like the first one, or is it going to be fun? If I go to an 18 over one, I want to go to where I am laughing, okay? And if alcohol has to be present, for one, alcohol, like the experience I have is I want to be like just falling out of my chair laughing, and I'm not carrying it on the ground rolling and laughing because everyone else is with me.
But
I have yet that kind of experience. But nowadays it seems like they've almost devolved into just hotel room parties. But then I can't let the old woman in me start settling in, you know. But however, hope springs eternal. Hopefully I will get a chance to go back to Gen Con next year, and then maybe the con going experience will be revitalized. I have hope. I'm not letting the bitter, cynical old lady come up just yet. I know there's still kind of other cons I want to go to. Like I want to go to MagFest. Go to MagFest so bad. I want to go to MagFest. I definitely would love to do that. And I'll admit, part of me still wants to go to Everfree Northwest. Part of me still wants to go to Everfree Northwest, but just you get distracted with adulting, right? So
Sure.
you gotta worry about bills and all that fun stuff. Don't grow up, kids. But yeah.
Peter Pan had it all figured out. Don't believe any of that spin doctor stuff Jerry J. and Barry threw in about.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, he was missing something.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
hopefully we'll have to see. We can come back. I hope we can come back to this target topic maybe next year, and we'll see what Jenn at Gen Con.
So our cosplay has to be like, one of those thrones where we each have to take one leg and four corners carrying Jenn.
Yes.
Yes.
The Jenn of Gen Con.
Yes, pretty much. We'll need an axe for that. But
are you sure you don't want it to be a coffin dance?
Then again, a coffin dance would be kind of fun. That's something I'll have to think about. Now, I am debating on cosplaying on this because I haven't done it in years. I'm debating on resurrecting a cosplay or actually just creating one new. I'm debating on it. I'm wondering if I should take a social media poll of what to cosplay as.
If you do, you have to link it to us so we can vote. Yes, do it.
Or maybe you have a group of your friends make some cases about certain cosplays depending on what they feel would best associate with you given your current taste in media.
That's a great idea. Carlos, it's a fabulous idea. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go. I'll start off with amongst my close friends and be like, okay, what do you think I should cosplay as? I mean, given how you know me and such.
Yeah.
I know one thing. Somewhere, I feel like somewhere in my future, there's a Loki cosplay coming. I have a feeling.
Oh, female Loki.
That was actually on the tip of my tongue.
Sylvia. It's Sylvia.
Loki from Persona 5.
Wait, I would be so much enthralled about it. Yes, release the carnage.
The carnage around the gator drooling at your face.
I feel like somewhere that's in my future. I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like somewhere that's in my future. I just gotta. I don't know. I'm not against it.
Wait. What about one of the female Phantom Thieves? I mean, you could always be Noir.
Noir would be fun. Noir would be fun. Queen would definitely be fun.
No, I know what you're going to be.
What am I going to be?
Carmen San Diego.
Wait. Are we talking about the reboot? Because the reboot has some style.
Where in the world is
Carmen San Diego? That's an idea. That's a definite idea. I also thought about one of Harley Quinn's girls from her comic run. That's a thought. That's a definite thought. I know I would definitely. I'm trying to convince my boyfriend to do this. One of these days, I want to convince my boyfriend and I to go. My boyfriend to go to a Comic-Con with me. He dresses as Joker and I dress as Harley. I want that to happen so bad.
That sounds like then me and Sagan are going to come as Two-Face and Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy doesn't have anything to do with Two-Face.
She can though.
When?
Oh, here's the thing.
Since I decided.
Are you going for the movies or the?
They weren't even in the movies together.
I don't care. They're together now. They're in my fanfic.
I thought we were going to be Misa and L.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You must do what your wife has commanded.
Fine.
Wait, but Misa and Elle don't have like a romantic relationship with each other.
It's called shipping.
Yes.
It is.
Like
Why would you ship those two?
That would be hilarious, but I already know what.
I am Misa's biggest fan, after all.
Yeah, that's true.
That's brilliant. I could so see you as Elle. Yeah. I could Elle and Misa. I could see it. Yeah.
Really? I've been practicing the squat sit.
I already know what Harley Quinn thing I'd love to do. I want to do the roller derby Harley. Oh yeah.
Oh, that sounds hard to do.
I've had that in my head for years. I just got to get the body for it.
Oh.
And if I could just convince my boyfriend to go as Joker, I mean, like, okay,
yeah.
If I could tell him to go, it's like, hey, you could do Heath Ledger Joker, or you could do the Jerome Jeremiah one from Gotham. Just do Joker, please.
Do it. Would be fun. And Joker is a fun impression to practice.
Totally, and he can totally do the voice too. All we gotta do is just get the suit, and I can put the makeup on, and I don't know what we'll do about the hair yet, but we can figure that out and one day I finally convince him to do it.
Does Batman have any iconic villain couples not with Harley Quinn in them?
No.
Technically, there's Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
That is pretty iconic. It's just Mrs. Freeze doesn't really have much personality in this relationship.
You could say she's a little cold.
Or she's put on ice.
Apparently the comics did bring her back once in one of those Faustian bargains, and she, went evil and tried to, I don't know, take over the world or something. It was something to do with the Lazarus Pit. So the ultimate Faustian moment was Mr. Freeze had to freeze her again to stop her.
That's just wrong.
Also because she's not interested in him. Like, she becomes uninterested.
Well, I mean, the thing about Mr. Freeze's plot is, it's great for a show, but in the comics that last decades, there's so many, there's only so long you can really have his motivation be, I'll revive my wife next time, Gadget. Next time.
And that's taking the saying of women in refrigerators literally.
Sure, really.
Dang, you're a genius. I completely missed that day. You are a genius.
I got it from
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done talking. Okay, those are my comic references.
But I just want to go back what you were saying about Trotcon, Jen, and I was looking up. I got the specifics. Yeah, it was Ocellus's voice actress that was at Trotcon last December for the minicon. And there's a funny story about that. Like, I was just after the con, I was talking on Discord, one of the con panel host was on, but he was also the chaperone for her. And the funny thing is, she specifically requested to be escorted and to shown around the after hours artist alley. So Arcellus knows our sins.
Oh no! Oh my god. That needs to be a meme, Ocelus knows your sins.
Yeah. And she's so sweet and innocent. That's not good.
She has to be corrupted.
Yeah.
It's only the changeling way. It is only the changeling way.
Yeah, it's not making it better that she's a changeling and can change into anything.
There you go. That's the only way. That's the only way that we could believe that. Did she really? Did she really like say, "I want to see the after hours"? Did she really? Request?
Like she requested to see like the adult like vendor thing.
Okay.
And just requested. It's like the after hours thing, but it's like the adult vendor. Like because how they have it set up is basically after.
Yeah.
I think it was 8 or 9. They close off a section and just set up like an adult vendors.
They do. Very smart. They have somebody at the door. There's a line, of course, a long line, and they have somebody at the door be like, "Can I see your ID? Can I see your ID?" And they make sure they ID anybody, so they make sure no sneaky kids get in there. We don't want to traumatize the children, okay? We don't want nobody wants a bunch of angry parents on their back. Right?
Yeah.
That's so seems so. I wonder what her reaction what her reaction was when she came out.
As I recall, like he said, it was basically just general like surprise, like, oh, that's a lot, like detail and like
her eyes were on fire. She needed bleach. Right?
But
I remember walking out of one of those and I'm like, wow. My goodness, what? Wow. Yeah, I was like, wow, I don't know. And I was like, walking out, I was like, why do I do this? But I was like, that's what curiosity does to you.
Yeah. Just keep away of the aisle that's starting with T.
The what?
The aisle that's starting with T.
The aisle is. Oh! I get you. Don't mind me.
I'll keep away from it.
Back in my wheelchair now.
But I guess does anyone want us go over their con history, just sort of their general overview?
Well, BronyCon back in 2019, I believe it was. That was my first and only so far. Hasn't been much since the pandemics, unless going to, what is basically martial arts con counts. Because, let me tell you, they have all the selling of martial arts merchandise and novelties and movies and weapons and all that, ointments and that. They have every martial art under the sun there, just about. They have performers. They have parades and ceremonies.
Nice.
And then the only thing is you either have to, well, no, you can go just to watch. So I guess technically I go to those to be part of the attractions. However, off to the side, a part. But
and you can even see Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Arnold one.
There's the Arnold classic too. But
nice.
And then there's you either competing in some type of combat or some type of form.
Oh,
and it's international too.
Yep. Do you get people from around the world?
Yes.
Yeah, I've taken on guys from tropical islands.
Hey.
There's a team that, my friend of mine's favorite team to watch in the Sonda, which is the closest one to full-on MMA. Just take them down, let them back up for points, but otherwise it's the same. That their name was Beast Mode. They were all
nice.
What did they say? I think they said they were from the Bahamas, but they show up every year. There's a bunch of them, and they even come with their own chant. It's one person starts, and then the rest answer back. Beast Mode. Beast Mode.
Beast Mode. I like that.
Yeah.
I like the chant. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fun stuff. But otherwise, it was the BronyCon where I got to make my own little documentary on the Rift channel right now, and meet all the people I've been talking to online for years in the DC React group ourselves. We even got to meet up and take the con by storm.
Yes, I still have that picture of all of us at BronyCon's last ride. I was so glad you could go. You could at least go to the final BronyCon at least. I didn't know that was your first though.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I just managed to catch it in time.
But hey, it happens. We all got to catch it one We all got to ride one final time.
Yeah.
Hey, oh man, I will have all my memories. Such memories of BronyCon.
Shit.
So what? So Dave, what about you? Have you had con?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Do we count festivals too, or is it only cons?
Depends on the festival. Generally, conventions or like niche conventions. So like I would count like martial arts con, but like
Okay.
like
So not
local.
like Sakura Festival doesn't count, right?
So what
Where
was
it's
it?
like a Sakura Festival is like a festival that celebrates blooming flowers and stuff like that.
Ooh, celebrate.
Yeah, I want to count that because that's sort of a different thing. Like
Okay, good. So I have under my belt 5 J-Pop cons. And J-PopCon is a mixture of anime and drawings and music and like everything under the sun, food, yeah. And the con goers go and they make what is that, recreations of their favorite anime. And they can actually win a trip to Japan. That's the number 1 prize for winning that. So that's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
So, and my first time there, like my mind was just blown, like how big it was. I would actually say it's one of the things that's on par with what you guys have over here. Like the BronyCon we went to, it's almost on the same size, like room wise, because like they have a big room and then they have rooms outside as well where they have the competitions, or they have like people dressing up in Japanese clothing and serving you treats and stuff like that. Ooh. So it was just amazing for me. And I was in a cosplay. I was cosplaying Ikufima from Code Geass. So yeah, and somebody took me to the side in the end of the anime convention. I remember because their Ikufima got sick and they needed somebody to fill in the role of a scene that they wanted to do on the stage. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, I was the only one in the same dress, in the same attire as the other one, even though I was like, of course I'm like XL, so we had to figure that one out. But they came over to me and was just like basically begging me to play. Like I only had to, like, spoiler alert, but I had to play that for like 5 minutes and that was it. So that was it. But that was fun. That was really fun. Nice. My first one. My second one, I got really drunk because there was this where you can test different forms of sake. Ooh. So yeah, let's just say I don't remember. Wild thing. Dun, 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 but I do remember it was in the second one they opened up the what is that, playing arena. So there was magic, there's like old board games, old like computer games, everything under the sun you can play in there. And I was just like in there all of the time playing, and you can also win stuff in there. So that was pretty neat. And they kept on having that for the future years. So that was nice. I even have a record in the Bubble. One of those old stick ones from like the late, I guess, 70s, 80s. I don't know when they were made, but yeah, that was amazing. I don't remember if I cosplayed or anything, but it's either a choice of the Pokemon trainer that's a painter, or what she's called, Undine from Claymore, or Misa Misa from Death Note. No, that was my third year. That was my third year, because third year, the singers from Death Note were coming to the con, and they signed my Death Note collection that I got at the con.
Nice.
Because they're like, that was a whole big celebration of like celebrating Death Note and celebrating like what's that called, darker animes. So they had a special opening of the 18 plus. Now that we've been talking about that a little bit as well, they had a special opening of that with like, you know, basically light and and L shipping. So that was pretty neat as well.
Cute.
Yes.
They would.
And my fourth one, there was they were celebrating fighting actually, so it was like sumo wrestlers and like Superman, it was like Wonder Woman, it was like all sort of like fight or action stuff going on, so that was also pretty neat. I think like that was where I was Undine from Claymore. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I was so what happened with me on that was like I had on some high heel boots, and at one point I just had to just walk around without shoes because I cannot wear heels for the life of me. It almost killed me. So, but one of the elderly ladies on the con saw me, and she was like, "Oh, you come in here with me. You're supposed to be in this lineup." And I was just like, "What is going on?" I didn't know what was happening. And all of a sudden, I was being put in this Japanese traditional dress thing and walked out on stage. And I was just like, I'm not sure, you know, like, what's, how did this happen? But they basically, afterwards, they told me, like, they had confused me with a other girl that was the same size as me and had, like, because I was wearing a blonde wig, they thought I had blonde hair, but it was a wig. So that was funny too. And my last one, I don't think I was cosplaying anything, but I did get wolf what's that called? Wolf mask, wolf ears and wolf tail and wolf paws. So because that was a celebration for furries. Yes. So that was like all of the furries that you could ever imagine under the sun. Like I even saw one that was cosplaying as a lizard one. And I was just like, I thought this was not a thing, but apparently it is. So I was surprised about that. I remember now I'm not surprised about anything of that anymore. But I remember the first time I saw it, I was just like, those costumes must be like so hot to run around in. Like I saw one that was like full fur and nothing else. And I was just like, wow. And it was in the baking sun, like, I don't know how hot it was, but they have to put some of the people out in the room for where they do the cosplay shows to cool them down, because that was one of the only rooms that had a cooling system. So that was also pretty fun, but we had a lot of people the last time, and I must admit, like, it lost a little of like my interests, as it went on, because like of course there was a lot of artwork and a lot of unique things that I haven't seen before, but I guess it was also because all of the other cons I had been there with somebody, and this con was where I went alone. Yeah, that was where I went alone. Oh no, I was cosplaying. I was cosplaying Ice Princess or Ice Queen.
Oh.
Yeah. That's true, because like we had somebody, one of my friends came as a Siberian Huskies and chased me around for a bit because I was cold. Haha, get it.
Nice.
And he stole my that scepter that I have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he stole that a couple of times. ran around with it, and like in his suit it looked like he was licking it. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not a salt stone, it's like made out of glass. What are you doing? We had fun with that.
Things are starting to accelerate into something never stopping, never stopping now. And I think I'm getting dizzy, too much spinning.
And then I have
getting better. It's getting too hard.
Insane. I think to maintain. Whoa, 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 whoa. You run around, I run around. We all do a run around. You run around, I run around. We all do a run around.
Ladies and gentlemen, 24-bit reactions, the musical.
We just couldn't stop encouraging each other there.
Because it was literally Digimon the movie. Just too many flashbacks, and I bought the soundtrack for it.
Yeah. And then I have like, besides, anime and all of that stuff convention, I have a World of Warcraft one that I went to, where it's like basically you play the PvP against each other. You see people playing the game. There's everything under the sun with the game, also like artwork and drawings. But basically, it's mostly like playing the games or seeing the game on the big screen, or the move, or like I think there was a small pre-release of the movie, but I'm not totally sure because it was like really early. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think there was, but I do remember it was on the screen, like the old Warcraft games and how it developed into World of Warcraft and all of that stuff. And I competed, which was really nice. Having like over 100 young males booing me out because I was on the top 10 and I was female. Woo!
I've heard that story before too. Yeah. It also includes her standing up on her chair and saying,
yes, I did.
Waving her hands in like, yes, thank you, thank you.
I did that. I'm so sorry.
I'm not very sorry to hear that part.
And like, I remember all of the young men and elderly men like just looking at me and being like shaking their heads. And funny enough, like all of the girlfriends, or how to say that, was just like, oh, okay, well, if she's doing it, maybe I should, I was just like, yes, please. What's going on? It was so funny.
Sounds funny.
Yeah. But of course, what's that called? I think it was a druid or a paladin that won that year, so that was nice. But that's the only one I have been to of those. I haven't been, to any of those again. I would try to go to one of those again, because that was really fun as well. Because I like gaming.
Yeah.
But if I could recreate any con, I would recreate the BronyCon we went to, because like that was amazing to me. Like standing in line, waiting for my autograph for Emily Larson, and then getting almost duped for my. And what more did we do? We went to I took a lot of pictures with people that I have only talked with online, and of course meeting the 8-Big Reaction, and you guys were also really nice, a highlight, I think. And all of the food was good, and I think all of the company was good. I just wish that I had one day where I was down there by myself, and I wish that I walked around instead of waiting in front of, I think it was BAB, where they had the art exhibit. I was waiting there because I wanted to meet someone that I thought were coming, but sadly they didn't come. So I wish that I just had walked around, because walking around I met Armored Brony, I met what was this called, the Apple Geek, and some of the other ones from the reaction group of the Armored Brony. I don't know if you guys know those people, but yeah, I just met a lot of people. We even met Saladin, right?
Oh
yeah,
Hey.
which was fun, and a lot of
Looney Turtle.
Looney Turtle, that was also fun. And I think and there was a part where we were standing and waiting for Starbucks, and all of a sudden Emil Larson was standing in line getting a Starbucks. I was just like, hey, I just got my autograph yesterday. If I didn't already have it, I would have gotten it on my cup, being like, fill me up, I'm Emil Larson. Fill it with phony tears.
He would. He would.
Did you just think of that now?
Yes.
I tell you, the wife's a genius.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Here all night, folks.
Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. She'll be here all night, folks. Make sure you tip your waitress.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
And now that I know that we're not counting festivals, I will not talk about those. But those I also have 5 of. So if we ever talk about stuff like that.
That's something that would be interesting to work into different subjects, because everyone's sort of like been to sort of like.
Actually, I can send some pictures of me cosplaying from J-Popcorn, or pictures from J-Popcorn, because I don't think you guys have it over here in the States, J-Popcorn. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right.
I haven't heard of any J-Popcorn where I live, so that would be interesting to see. So is that everyone else's con stories?
Yes.
Looks like it.
So far.
Well, I think it's time for me to bring out the big old con hammer. I did not go to the last BronyCon.
No.
But let me tell you the story of BronyCon Summer 2012.
Now.
Yes.
I was there at the Meadowland Exposition Center.
Ooh.
I went there. My father at the time was just like assuming like, oh, I thought you were only going to be there for like one day. But no, I guess they didn't tell him that it was a 2-day event, because I was going back and forth between like New York and New Jersey at that point. So I go over to the convention center. And on that first day, waiting outside of the road, I was able to spend some time with certain bronies that would go up into history and such, clearly DJ Fluttershy, not DJ Fluttershy, Assertive Fluttershy. I also got to meet with Paleosteno and Saber Spark at the same time in the morning. And I was just like, this was me in my most, oh my God. You two were the reason why I got into this community in the first place. It's just, I was a bit awkward, but then I was just like, I just want to get your signature. I really respect the heck out of you guys for your documentaries and such. I watched through them. That's how it got me into the thing. I respect all the research you guys did for everything. Man, I was just so full blown. Then going inside the convention, I did not know at the time that Pony C Anthology 2 was airing at that time. I was just going through different rooms and such, bewildered, unknowingly sure about what to do since I didn't have any money to buy any con merch or anything of the sort. I was just there to absorb the experience and see the voice actresses and such, doing their whole signings and such, just seeing all that play out. I was just enjoying the atmosphere at the time, and it was quite exhilarating. But then the con story ends with a very particular night in which I missed the bus on Sunday night, and I had to wait a good hour at an Applebee's, thanks to some brony inviting me to partake in some dinner. And that brony was the editor for one of the legendary fanfics of the pony fandom, Past Sins, henceforth. Yeah. And that was when I discovered Google Hangouts, when he told me we could interact, chat with me there. And that's when I slowly started getting into communication systems, and then that's what led me over to Skype. And walla bing, walla boom, here we are now. Without that meeting, I wouldn't have gotten into social media like that and wouldn't have talked to you all until today.
Oh, we have to thank him someday.
Carlos, you're actually at BronyCon 2012?
I was there.
I was too.
Oh no!
Missed each other.
Actually, wait a minute. Did you happen to see somebody with a KFC bucket that had Scootaloo on the front?
Oh God, I'm trying to remember. Oh God, repressed memories, teenage years. Oh God, so much memory. I think I remember a KFC bucket, but I don't remember the person holding it.
You know what? If you saw the bucket, that's okay. If you saw the bucket, that was me holding it.
So much.
And I was the one who I made it. It was actually, that's another fun memory.
Oh my God, you were the one that made the Scootaloo.
Yes, that was me. I made the Scootaloo chicken bucket.
So much.
Good. That was me.
It's a small world after all.
You were probably in your late 20s at that point, and I wouldn't have noticed you.
Actually, probably early 30s.
Really? No. What'd you say your age? It's been 10 years.
I'm 42 now, so.
Oh.
The answer to the most important question.
I was 32.
Jenn is just looking good.
And I was just a junior in high school at that time.
I was 32, and
wow.
And I was in my early 30s, carrying around a Scootaloo KFC bucket. Well, technically.
Why do we want to see that picture? Do you have a picture of that?
Oh my gosh! It's in my bookcase right now. It's my bread.
Yes.
I wish I had access to my old photos, but it's locked in my old laptop.
As soon as this is over, I'm taking a picture of it and I will post it on Facebook.
Yes.
May I say my memory of that bucket? That's my greatest. I have to say that's my greatest memory of any convention. Of course, it was all to BronyCon, but that bucket is the greatest memory I have. And I'm very critical. I'm a wannabe artist. I am very, very critical about, everything I make. But this is one of the only pieces that I'm so satisfied with. And so satisfied with. It's my precious. It's my baby. So
Wait a minute. I got photos.
Okay,
I just was like Facebook.
But my ex gave me this idea of like his favorite pony was Scootaloo. So he and of course the running joke was Scootaloo was a chicken. So he had this idea. he had this idea like, why don't you make a KFC bucket and put Scootaloo on the cover? And I said, that's the most meanest thing ever. Okay, I'll do it. So I actually he bought a KFC bucket, and I actually designed it almost exactly as the bucket said, with the text and everything, which is a hard thing to do, let me tell you. I realize now I should have put EFC versus KFC. So, oh well. But I printed it out at where I was working at the time. I glued it to the bucket, and we went to BronyCon. And I don't know, I got some of this thing of courage, and I was like, and I kid you not, the minute I walked out, people were looking at me and like either laughing at me or accusing me of murder. And I actually got brave, and yeah, this is why this bucket is the greatest thing. That year, I got almost all the musicians to sign the bucket.
Okay. Yes.
I got nearly all of the nearly all of the musicians to sign it. I got one of the artists, I believe it was Pixel Kitties, who signed it. Yes, I got one of the personalities. I got Dusty Cat. Cat's picture staring at me.
I have a picture with Dusty Cat as well.
I couldn't believe it. It's so funny. I actually got brave enough to talk to the manliest brony in the world and ask him for an autograph. And he signed it.
I forgot to ask about an autograph.
I didn't get screwballs, unfortunately. But however, just everybody that I talked to was everyone that I talked to was like so nice, and they signed my bucket. And like I said, it is in a place of honor. Is a place of honor in my bookcase, and I'm looking at it right now. And that is my like tried and true, most treasured thing.
I am so glad. I still had these photos. I sent it on Facebook. Like at least like my original BronyCon memories.
We're looking for it now. Looks nice.
Yeah.
And there's this card.
Yes.
Oh boy, I'm just telling you, like these, like me with like that hat thing. That hat did not last long. I really wish it did, but unfortunately it did not. This was me without a pony OC when I went over to that convention.
Oh, wow.
Like me meeting up with like Jesse and such. Oh man, that was like a riot. Like Jack's Blade, and then also the musicians. It was insane, intense. But then afterwards, like,
whacking.
I have her signature. I have their signature. Their signature. Remember, this was the before time.
Right. Oh man. I remember that panel where with the create picture that was given to Faust. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome for those memories. Thank you, Facebook.
Thank you, Facebook, indeed.
Here.
Hey! Oh, I remember the panel with John Delancey. Yes. Oh. All these wonderful memories.
Do you have his autograph, Gator?
Delancey? No.
Aw.
I don't have Delancey.
Oh, it makes you feel any better. Jenny Nicholson says with no hesitation that he's a jerk and he sees bronies as dollar signs.
Well, I mean, for me, the most memorable signature was me getting a signature from Lauren Foss, like on a sketchbook.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what? That's all you need, honestly.
Yeah.
You got the signature to covet all signatures. You had the Faust.
And
And I'll tell you one thing: if you got the
You
Zachary,
got the big one.
you got one of the big ones. If you got Zachary and House, then you will rule the universe.
I mean, I went to like Big Apple Pony.
Grandmother to mother.
I went over to Big Apple PonyCon, which I saw both creators there.
Yeah. Oh, that panel! I'll never forget when that one with Zachary and Faust on there. I was like, that was just wow. That was just like you're not gonna see it twice in your life.
That's generational stuff, you know.
Totally. It's the originator and the game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are in a presence of great. I couldn't help but be in the presence of feel like I was in the presence of greatness.
Yeah.
Well, low-key, Bonnie Zachary was kind of cool. Just like she, in a weird way, was sort of a step along the evolution line and pushing girls media, the concept of girls media forward a little bit. Apparently she got told like, no, most girls aren't like you. They don't like to take care of horses and ride them and other things vaguely athletic. They like to cook and clean and iron.
No. Well, I do like cooking, but ironing, no.
And as a one panel attendant couldn't hold in, nobody likes cleaning.
Yeah.
Perfect. No lies.
Bonnie was like, yeah, I guess some people do like to cook or iron, sure, but
Right.
and then one lady goes, nobody likes cleaning.
No, that's true.
Yeah, true. That no lies have been spoken.
Yeah, I think I'll give her that one.
Yep. Oh, LOL, old feminine stereotypes. How wrong those people, and how wrong those people were. And look at us goyles now.
Yes.
Where there's, I see this make its way along. I mean, like, you could probably, I mean, knowing what, the truth is, there is probably not, just in pure concept, the toughest thing ever. Like, hey, there's tons of overlap and tons of variation in both sexes, and, like, clean divide lines are basically useless. Who knew? Actually being ready to live the truths such as those, that seems to inexplicably need a few decades to change over time. It's like going into the water at the ocean. We just can't do it quickly. We gotta wade our way in.
Right.
No matter what.
Right.
Crazy, stupid world we live in.
Truth.
Put that aside.
Yeah.
Told about all the interesting panels and stuff.
Yep.
I forgot about a thing in one of my Trotcon that happened by coincidence.
Uh-huh.
I met Charles Martin, the voice of Mario, and I have his autograph. But it all happened by coincidence because I didn't actually know who he was before.
The only Charles Martin I know is the guy who's a front runner right now to be considered the worst heavyweight champion of all time.
No. This guy wouldn't be a heavyweight in any universe.
And I mean, that's like, I guess there are worse things you could be than the worst heavyweight champion of all time, but
No, this guy is like a jolly old guy. Like, he does the thing like this with the Mario flex and do the wahoo, but I don't think he would be up for it. But he does a lot of other voices too, which I was really surprised about.
If you're curious, by the way, the worst heavyweight champion of all time, that story is that the guy with, like, nobody knows this, but the heavyweight champion belt is actually broken into like 4 pieces because 4 organizations all have a say in who's champion, are big enough to have a say. So one of them, because reasons, decided, you know what, we need a new one. We're going to have this guy who's maybe not the best and just like pretty good, but whatever. We just need somebody, and we're gonna give him the title because he beats who are we gonna pick out as his opponent? Charles Martin. He's undefeated because he's an up-and-comer who hasn't actually fought anyone yet, so we're gonna give him his Rude Awakening and give his Rude Awakener the title, and then the designated Rude Awakener tried to Matrix dodge a punch and accidentally, fell over backwards and managed to, break all the tendons in his knee, so Mr. hasn't actually fought anybody yet is suddenly a champion. And that's the story. And then, he lost in his first fight, and he, Rocky Balboa'd himself up and came at it again like, no, I'm going to show you who you're really dealing with, and he got as far as almost being ranked in the top 10 in the world, to nobody's particular fault, he just wasn't quite good enough. Who knew?
Mm-hmm. Well, and we heard about DC's con.
Have we heard about DC's cons?
Let's talk about DC.
But for me, for actually a while, I went to a lot of cons in early 2010s, but it was mostly just for filming them because I was doing a lot of documentary works on fandoms and stuff like that. So I went to cons, but I really wasn't attending them, and I was focused more on the filming aspect, which really doesn't let you experience a con, even though if you were recording a lot. But I went to several Brony cons, including Canterlot Gardens, some local cons in Cincinnati, both anime conventions, a mini Brony con, and a few comic conventions, and also a furry convention in Cincinnati area.
Mm-hmm.
But all those were just me filming it, so I didn't experience. The first con I really sort of went to and just sort of enjoyed the con and being with people was actually BronyCon in 2019. And besides that, also I did Trotcon last December, which was a very just different atmosphere because it's so much smaller than BronyCon. So just smaller hotel rooms for a lot of the little miniature convention panels. Having the biggest line being Jenn mentioned the waiting line via the adult vendor thing had it was a 40-minute line.
Yep.
It was cartoonish. And let me see. Yeah, just this sort of a lot of the conventions I went to near Cincinnati in terms of size, but just sort of I had a different sort of feel to it. It felt more less of a family con, so that weird sort of thing that BronyCon achieved, and that one Brony convention in Cincinnati did was very family focused and friendly and all that. Yeah. This felt more like a older fan, so how anime conventions tend to be targeting a slightly older audience.
Yeah.
That sort of thing, but it still was well run and all that, and just still in the middle of COVID. This is right when Omicron started to come around. The doomsday we live in.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, those are the two conventions I sort of attended that I was not just filming, I was actually mostly enjoying just as a convention.
Here's to that.
True.
I also went to, I remember last year I also went just to go to the Cincinnati Comic Expo, but that's less a con and more of it's so much more vendor related. Have you been there, Jenn? Cincinnati Comic Expo?
No, I haven't been to a Comic Con yet.
All right. Yeah, that's the one in Cincinnati's their big convention center, their Duke and everything. It's 90% of the space is taken up by this vendors and stuff like that. So it's a con, but in terms of panels, there's only a very handful of stuff.
Oh yeah. If I were to do my Harley cosplay, that would be the one. That would be the one I'd do it at, I think.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I've been to a lot of cons, but in terms of being actually at the con, like I've only been to 2 sort of full cons and 1 sort of vendor con thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can list. I probably should list the ones. Nah. I thought it would be. I wondered if I should list the ones I've gone to. If I can remember them all.
Sure.
Let's see. I remember ASIN. ASIN was the very first one I went to. Yeah. Don't remember what year. I think it was 2003 or 2005. But yeah, ASIN was definitely the first for me. There used to be one in Kentucky called SugoiCon. I knew someone who worked at it, and she and I are still friends to this day.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ones I went and filmed. I think it was an anime, but also sort of animation con, I think, wasn't it?
I think it was strictly anime. Yeah, I think it was like strictly an anime con, honestly. I mean, it's gone now, but it's been gone for years. But that was like one of Northern Kentucky's, like, that was the first Northern Kentucky con that I...
Oh, wasn't that in like the like castle themed like hotel space?
Oh, that Drawbridge Inn. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Drawbridge.
That's the one.
Drawbridge Inn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I remember that was a SugoiCon. Let me see. ASEN, SugoiCon. I think I went to like MatsuriCon in Columbus a couple of times. From there I believe BronyCon, Canterlot Gardens, Trotcon. Oh, there was one unforgettable one in Cincinnati that I wish could have kept going. Cutie Mark Con.
That's the Cincinnati BronyCon I was thinking of.
Yes, Cutie Mark Con. That, man, do I got a story from there. Cutie Mark Con, it was so ambitious for its first run, and honestly, I wish it could have like, kept going. They had so much they had so much talent. They had so much industry talent there. Like, that was the first time I actually got a chance to meet Andrew Francis and Brian Drummond there. I dressed up as Octavia that year. I had a foam core. I had a cello that I carved out of foam core that I was carrying around, and actually, it was one of those times where I actually got it, and actually it was Andrew Francis, Brenna Drummond, and Brian Drummond. I think there was a fourth, but I don't remember. Maybe Matt Hill? I think so. But somehow I got brave enough to actually ask them all to sign my cello, and they all did. I still have pieces. I actually made another one, and at the second BronyCon I went to, I got more of the fandom personalities to sign it. So I got Jack Spade and AC Race Best. I got a few more. I wanted to, like, I couldn't keep the cello as a whole thing, so I dismembered it. So I still have the signatures around it. So I still have the signatures. It's just the cello is in pieces. May it rest in pieces. But the craziest thing about Cutie Mark Con was, I remember, like, Brian, you know how Brian Drummond is always asked to do the "It's over 9,000" line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that thing is over 10 years old. Somebody in the crowd asked him to do the line, and I'm face palming over here. I'm like, oh, really? He gets asked to do this all the time. He's not gonna do it. But then he stands up and he does it.
Yay!
Sure.
And I was like, holy crabs, he did it, and I just heard it with my own ears. Oh! And actually, I was telling him, and I remember telling him, I was like, I can't believe you actually did that infamous line because of how old it is. You must be tired of it. He's like, and he was really cool about it. He's like, if it's at small cons like this, I don't mind. I was like, oh, wow, cool.
I actually remember, and I remember bringing back memories of that con. Some strenuous, some fun, but yeah, I actually remember I think I did like a group interview with him involved with it. I think he had his daughter there at the time too.
Yeah, Brenna Drummond. She played Babseed.
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, I did like a group interview with them. That's where like you really learn like voice actors are very fun to interview in a group setting.
Oh yeah.
They really like to play off each other.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the other memory I have is like, yeah, that's a con I went to, but like I had a hotel for one night. The other night I just basically did a 24-nighter and just sort of filmed and stuff there.
Yeah, I remember where that hotel. I think I remember where that hotel was, but I didn't.
It's the Sharonville. It wasn't the Sharonville Convention Center, but it was like the hotel next to it.
Right. You're exactly right. And I didn't live. Wait a minute. No, I was still living in Kentucky at the time, so it wasn't that far of a drive. So you were at Cutie Mark Con.
Yeah, I was filming there. And I was also mentioned like I was at Canterlot Gardens earlier too.
You were at Canterlot Gardens too. Oh my gosh, there's this three in which we've all we've passed each other and not known the other one was there. This is destiny.
Yeah.
This was ordained by destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then you also cross paths with, like you were saying earlier, with Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. Like, I think the only one that it's impossible for you guys to have cross paths with, unless it was BronyCon, was me.
We finally did that final con.
That's true. And I hope that someday we are going to go to, like, I would have loved to go to Comic-Con or, like, some other convention. I hope, like, in the future I can go to a con where Original 151 is there or, you know, stuff like that. Gaming stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we can all meet at a con sometime again.
Yes.
Not too far in the future.
Like, I hope we meet before so we can give gifts.
Woo! Oh, you.
Yes. I hope we can all do that. We can all meet. We can all pick some con and then just find a way to all meet at that one con.
Mm-hmm.
We should make that happen.
Yeah,
we should.
Or we should just make our own con.
Find whatever cons coming up.
Make LineCon or Second Day Con or 8-Bit Reaction Con.
Okay, a con that would get more than 10 people to attend.
Well,
the Second Day Con.
That's not our problem.
That's a little bit our problem if we're trying to hold a con.
Well, there's already a Jenn Con, so.
Yeah, that's true.
You got a point.
Yeah, it'd be kind of stupid. It'd be kind of stupid, just as stupid as TanaCon. It'd be like, no way. It will not be the next TanaCon. No thanks.
No.
The 24-bit con.
Oh.
I bet that name exists somewhere.
Oh, really?
Hey.
I'm willing to bet money that name exists somewhere. Like there's I don't know, some 24-bit con or something. I bet there's either a barcade or a con that has that name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's very likely.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway.
Yes.
I think I'm about out of things to talk about.
Yeah, we've been talking for like 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Good times get us going, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should, like I said, I should have really got this con thing started sooner just because, like I said, I think I told Jenn before, like, yeah, this is a topic I feel we could talk on for like 3 hours on itself. Because, like, even though we have various degrees of, like, still going to cons, like, we all have experiences with them. Even, like, you mentioned you don't much, but, like, you had a great experience with, like, the last BronyCon.
This was true.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
And also your karate cons. I mean, not karate, but your martial arts cons.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Boy. Yeah, the experience is there. Tried to throw my own once, ended up dropped on my head. It was a great time.
Ouchie.
And that's, yeah. Boy. Dumb.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
we should just pick a con. In the future, we all make this solemn vow. We will pick a con in the future, and we will all descend upon it.
Yes.
Here. All right.
Yes.
Let's look up times we're off and cons that are open around then.
Perfect.
But until then.
Yeah, I guess I'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
Good seeing you, everybody.